And we'd just like to start off in saying thank you for taking the time out and doing this. We'll be here about an hour and a half, so we'll see how it goes. So the reason why we're here to do it today is to get your opinions and attitudes about the issues related to social media, so Twitter, Facebook, whatever you guys use. And we'll be leading the discussion today, and I'm not here to convince you of anything or try to sway your opinion. My job is just to ask you questions and encourage it, and we just have a friendly discussion about it. And we'll also, part of our group is Eric, and he'll be recording and taking notes. Oh, and taking notes will be Paul.
Yeah. Another aspect of our discussion will be how you perceive privacy in the social media setting. And following that is ground rules that we'll have to go over. The first one is only one person. We advise that only one person speaks at a time so that we can hear everyone's voice. Please avoid side conversation. Everyone doesn't have to answer every single question, but we'd like to hear from each of you today as the discussion progresses. This is confidential, as we mentioned before, and we will not report your names or if you said what to or what, and name of participants will not even be included in the final report about this meeting. It also means that for the report, the report will be written. What is said in the room stays in the room, and when you walk out of here, what you remember the most is what you should not be talking about. We stress confidentiality because we want an open discussion. We want all of you to feel free to comment on each other's remarks without fear that your comments will be replaced later and possibly taken out of context. There are no wrong answers, just different opinions. Say what is true for you, even if you're the only one who feels that way, and don't let the group sway you. But if you do change your mind, just let us know. And let us know if you need a break. I think the bathroom is on the third floor at Arena. And so...
Okay, so just quickly, if you'd like to introduce yourselves, your name, and what social media sites you use.
I'm Cass Krugoff. I use Facebook. Yeah.
I'm Andriana George Duckworth, and I use Facebook.
I'm Ashley, and I use Facebook.
I'm Christina, and I use Facebook and Twitter.
So now we'll get into the questions. Do you want to start?
Sure. So our first question is, what do you understand of online social networks? If you're familiar with them, list them and their purposes. I mean, you all went around to say which social media medium you use more frequently, but we just want to get a sense of your reasons behind why you have preference for that.
Sure. Well, I use Facebook because, especially today, so many people use social networking sites that it's even more efficient than phones these days for me with some of my contacts as far as getting in touch with stuff. I use it less to communicate with friends than I do just to keep up to date with people that I work with and stuff on what's going on with events that are posted and things like that. So that's why I use Facebook.
I think my main purpose for using Facebook is communication, just keeping in touch with, my friends from high school, family members, people that I often cannot, get on the phone with or text message. But, also, I think it's, an expression, of yourself as well, too. You can, find other people with common interests as yourself, so.
I use it for the same reasons they do, keep in touch with other people, and just it's easier sometimes than phones.
Yeah, I guess the same. And I leave videos for my family that I miss, when I'm at home, so to communicate with them when we have different schedules. So.
I know you mentioned that you use it for genuinely keep in contact with your work people on your Facebook.
Well, I interned for a PR firm last summer, and then I keep in touch with one of the account executives there.
Okay, so it's kind of like networking for you guys too. Okay. So the second question is, what are the benefits and disadvantages of having public networking sites? So if you have Twitter, I mean everybody here has a Facebook, I think that's the common one, but let's say for Twitter or Flickr or anything that's it's all your stuff is like public to people. Like, how do you feel about that, or like how
Well,
does that
like
affect
the
you?
privacy settings, you can like fix them. So like with me, like not everyone can like follow me. Like they have to
Okay,
have to like approve.
Yeah.
But like I think like you can still control how private and public you are. So it's all up on you.
I think as far as privacy is concerned, as far as where I come from with Facebook, I don't post a lot of personal stuff on Facebook to begin with, so I don't have to worry too much about the privacy stuff, because a lot of what I do, like I said earlier, is business related, and I know a lot about like privacy concerns with friends and stuff, where they've had stuff on there that got them in trouble, and so for me, knowing that, I've tended to use Facebook more to like just contact groups and stuff about events and stuff, so, and that way I don't really think about the privacy settings that much, to be honest, so I don't have a customized, like she does, Facebook that has certain settings, like I don't want my mom to see this photo, or I don't want my friends to see, you know, I don't have that, so. it's a little
I think
different.
I use it more for communicating rather than posting my things. Like, I have privacy settings. Like, people can't search me and find me, so you can only find me through friends. So people, I guess it cuts off communication in that, like, people from a long time ago who I don't have mutual friends with can't contact me, but I use it to communicate with the people that I am in contact with, and like friends or whatever. And for people who I don't really talk to, you know, you have those friends that you like went to elementary school with this person, but you haven't talked to them in like 7 years. But you're their friend on Facebook. Like, my stuff, you can't see it. Only my like really good friends can see my pictures and things like that. So I'm really careful about what goes on there, because I know for a lot of employment now they're going to Facebook and like looking at your Facebook. And I don't post anything I wouldn't want an employer to see, maybe. But I still just don't feel comfortable knowing that people I don't know can like look at me.
Yeah, like same with her. Like it's not like a matter of like us having like sketchy stuff on the internet. Like we just don't want like random people just. Yeah.
And there's also like the problem of like some people, they actually just kind of steal your image, and they kind of like just use your like your photo or your body. If you have like a really nice body, they'll just like Photoshop your like somebody else's face in there, and they'll just use it. So that's probably like a problem a lot of people really kind of think about.
Okay, so our next question is like what aspects, you kind of briefly mentioned it as far as like what specific settings you do change, but more specifically like what aspects of your profile or account do you frequently engage in, like your status, update, photo sharing, wall, and give reasons to why you use the following, or more, or if you do, like, for example, update your status more often, as opposed to sharing your photos, like, is there reasons behind, or you just do everything?
Well, like, in my case with my profile, I don't upload a lot of my own pictures. Like, the stuff that I'm tagged in is, like, friends took a photo of me, and I'm, like, in that image. I don't upload myself, like, a whole bunch of photos all the time. So the only stuff I really update is, like, group pages. Like, I work for EGB, and I do the Foghorn, and we have Facebook pages, and I update that stuff, just information that I send out to, like, everybody that's a part of that group, as opposed to, like, writing a comment for my photo, like, oh, that was crazy, or something like that, you know, so, yeah.
I'd have to agree with Cass. I might upload some pictures like from a vacation or of my family or my friends that I've taken, but usually it's like other people that take a bunch of photos and they tag you in them, and that's fine to share with, of course, like because you have the privacy settings. But I do update my status a lot, and a lot of it's for work. I also work for EGB, and we do a lot of Facebook like group stuff too.